how loose is that program in Michigan State? But these 18, 19, 20 years old, you mean to tell me that they're old enough to get NIL deals for millions of dollars? You got to put the onus on them for this moment too. Like when I was 18, I knew that that's not okay.
But what happened in that tunnel, it can't happen.
We got to get back. You got to get back to respect.
I want to pick up your thoughts on the Michigan State situation and really what this means for Michigan State more than anything.
Here's what I would say, and this is in direct reflection to Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker is an NFL-minded coach. And what I mean by that, Ryan and Maz, is when you get to the NFL, it's not like college. College coaches, they hold your hand at 18. They hold your hand at 19. They mold you into being a young man. They hold you accountable. They instill discipline. They instill values and morals. Like they mature you in that 4-year period or 5-year period or 3-year period. Like they instill things in you that last forever. Like to this day, I still have values that Coach Carr, that Eric Campbell, that Jim Herman, that Brady Hoke, that and the list goes on, have instilled in me. With NFL coaches, when you get to the NFL, Ryan, I'm talking rookie year too. They're not here to hold your hand. They are here to make sure you understand the playbook so that you can operate at the best of your ability so that they can continue to feed their families. They're not interested in the extra things. And now you see where I'm kind of getting. Mel Tucker, NFL-minded coach, been in the NFL for a number of years. Some people can't just be that Lloyd Carr. Some people can't be Nick Saban. Some people can't be and the list goes on, Bo Schembechler or whoever else. Barry Alvarez, there we go. I was searching. But you can't be that guy that worries about all the kids and talks to the kids differently. Like, okay, this guy comes from this background, he's 18. I got to treat him a certain way. I got to treat him different than this kid. Instill the values. It seems to me, Ryan, and I know this, I know who Mel Tucker is, but I don't necessarily know how he's operating in Michigan State. So this would be an assumption or a guess or a reach, if you will. The program just seems too loose. Like it seems like he just operates at a very loose rate. The kids are treated kind of like adults. Hey, look, man, just be where you're supposed to be on time. Like just do what you're supposed to do in the game, et cetera, et cetera. He treats them almost kind of like grown man NFL players, which is cool to a certain extent until you have instances like this, until you see things like this. So I would question, how loose is that program in Michigan State? Like how is he running that ship from Sunday to Saturday? Like how is that program running? Are they being held accountable for going to class? Are they being held accountable for being on time to certain things? Are they being held accountable for, whatever it is? You saw with Mark D'Antonio. Like this didn't happen when Mark D'Antonio was there. When Mark D'Antonio was there, you saw what happened with who was the running back that kept getting in trouble, and he just kept suspending him. He kept holding him accountable. But like, I wonder how loose that program is in East Lansing and Spartan Village, because it looks like it's a direct reflection, because this wouldn't have happened.
Is there and here's one of those key words, phrases here. Is there based on this instance, if Michigan State wants to, would this classify as a lack of institutional control situation in East Lansing, where you could get out from underneath that contract if you believe this thing is going south?
Yeah.
Maybe that is an instance you could say, you know what, we're firing you for cause, lack of institutional control. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just asking if this thing goes down a road here, because anytime you're investigated,
it's not good.
They find stuff.
This is very true.
They find stuff, and the rabbit hole continues. If you go looking, you're going to find something.
But let me say this too, though. Now, because I had all day to think about this as well as yesterday. I have to say this as well. It's not all on Mel Tucker. Like, it starts at the top. You have to ask questions about Mel Tucker and how he's running that program. But with that being said, these are grown men. Like, these are grown men. Like, I get it. You make mistakes. But these 18, 19, 20 years old, you mean to tell me that they're old enough to get NIL deals for millions of dollars? And they're old enough to be able to know what to do with that millions of dollars. They're old enough to be able to time management in terms of going to class, staying away from being out all night partying and doing this and being on time to practice. They're held accountable for those things as 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old individuals, you got to put the onus on them for this moment too. Like when I was 18, I knew that that's not okay. And look at all the Michigan State players that were around the situation and didn't intervene. And that's another thing that bothered me about that.
Can I say one thing?
I saw one player grab. I saw one player.
I did too.
I saw one player grab a Michigan State player and take him out. It was a big offensive lineman. He grabbed one player. That was it. It was a bunch of Michigan State guys watching their guys. Like, if this would have been us, if I was there, like, let's say I was kicking or punching or swinging a helmet as I was 18, 19 years old. Don't you know Larry Foote would have grabbed my little ass up and dragged me in the locker room?
Let me say this. I've watched this video a million times.
Looking for different angles?
Looking for everything and every number.
Number 4 on MSU is the big culprit.
Yeah. Helmet swinger, right?
Yeah.
But I want to say this publicly because there was one guy that I saw.
There was one. I saw it.
It was Xavier Henderson. And
Wow.
we've
been going back and forth.
have been going. We've been riding this kid.
We're busting his balls.
We've been busting his balls for 2 years, and that kid was the only one that I saw. I didn't see the guy. That was the only one that I saw that was trying to get everybody in the locker room. Go in the locker room. Go in the locker room. That's the only kid. So I want to make that clear. Shout out to you and kudos to you because that's pretty incredible when you see a melee here and you're the one guy that is saying, hey, do the right thing, go in the locker room. Good for you, Xavier.
I'm glad you said that because I think part of the reason why this rivalry has gotten to what it got to in the tunnel, as we kind of touched on it, is it's the build up for Mike Hart, and I'm not blaming Mike Hart, but I'm saying it's the build up from then to now social media, to now look at the comments, to analysts, and I think I had a part in it as well. What I'm going to tell you from now on, Ryan, when we talk about Michigan State, I'm not saying that team sucks or this player sucks or blah blah blah. I'm not commenting on what players say out of Michigan State. My job is to say what I think about the game. I would say it like this: I don't think they have a really good, deep secondary. The offensive line gives up a lot of sacks, etc. I think Michigan will run them over because of the offensive line, and then the running back play of Blake Corum. You know what? No more talking about players individually, no matter if they talk to us, if they tweeted us, if they do whatever. Our job is not to talk to those players because as those players have access now to talk to us directly and talk stuff about us and we, get into a back and forth, we're grown men. We know how to handle that and just be joking. Those kids take it personal and then when you get in the game, it's like, yo, you know what? F these, it's like that.
Braylon,
and now you develop hate.
I said this yesterday. I'm a grown-ass man, married, 2 kids, 7 and 5-year-old, 2 jobs, and I'm out there tweeting like a maniac.
So
you know what I mean? Because of what the friggin' rivalry does to you. I hate it. I'm not involved anymore. I am removing myself from this toxic rivalry.
I am making one, an apology to talking to Xavier Henderson as a player in college or Chuck Brantley, etc. From now on, it's strictly business and it's strictly about the positions. It's strictly about my analytical take on what the game will be. Never again will I ever comment to a player or respond to a player. You know what? Because I'm 39 and I don't have time for that. I think that is. I kind of contributed to it, if you will. And maybe not, but I feel I did, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll say from day, like I've been saying since day one. The guy that got under my skin was Mark D'Antonio.
Yeah.
And he's still under my skin. When I think of him, this reminds me of a little Weasley guy, like the pop in the face. And then when Mel Tucker's puffing that cigar at you for the last 2 years.
Right.
It just reminded me, I might as well put his face on Mark D'Antonio's body at that point. They made me not like the program. That's all.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. The hate's got to stop. It really does. It's just a damn game, for crying out loud. I mean, we're not even playing.
Yeah,
it's the kids that are playing. But what happened in that tunnel? It can't happen.
We got to get back. You got to get back to respect. Like Michigan,
that's
Michigan and Michigan State have to get back to respect because this was a respectful rivalry for years. First game is 1898. You've seen a bunch of different coaches, a bunch of different stars. You've seen heated exchanges, but it was all within the realm of the game and the rivalry. This past Saturday, it got out of hand, and we got to get back to the respect.
Braylon, can I just say, you had mentioned that you think Harbaugh Mel Tucker
Tucker
should sit down. I don't think that can happen because I don't think either one of them respect each other.
Nope, they don't. They don't.
I don't think either one of them like each other. I don't think either one of them respect each other. You know, there was a moment.
But if I'm Kevin Warren, just like when Juwan Howard and the coach from Wisconsin, like they made those guys have they talked or hashed it out or they sat down. Like the only reason I say they need to have one sit down, I don't care if as soon as they walk out of the room, Mel Tucker's like, man, F that mofo, and Jim Harbaugh's like, he can kiss my ass. Like I don't care if that happens. But for optics, just to move past, because if you don't, this thing is gonna fester to next year.
And I don't think Jim Harbaugh, Ward Manuel want to hear from Kevin Warren on this, to be honest with you.
True.
Because again, his son Powers Warren, number 40, the 6th-year senior, is a tight end. Got the COVID year, transfer and then a COVID year. He's in that tunnel. He doesn't want to hear from Kevin Warren at all. This story is not going away.
It's not.